I just got done filming my Asian movie collection video. I figured since I have Extraordinary Attorney Woo, the box set here, I might as well film a more comprehensive look at what all is included. Sometimes this part is a little tricky to get off. There we go. This part is removable. And we've got Woo Young-woo here on the front and some information on the back. Not that you can read that, I guess, but it's kind of hard to see. I forgot to show what is on the back here of the box. So when you first unbox it, this is what it looks like inside. So we'll start first by going through this little bag of goodies that they include. So the very first item that is included is a card from her dad's restaurant. And then on the back, oops, I flipped it the wrong way. It also shows the menu and some pricing. I thought that was a cute little thing to add in. This is then followed by 5 ID cards of our main characters. This is the front. And here's the back of those Hanbara Law Firm ID cards. And they are in the same order. So some of the included items, if you haven't seen the show, may seem a little random. But this is actually a sticky note that is featured in the show, and since I do not read Korean, I did have to take to Google Translate just to be reminded of where exactly this came in the show. So there's how it translates. Give or take, because I know Google Translate isn't always the greatest in terms of getting an accurate translation. Here are their business cards at Hanbara Law Firm. These are again from our main characters here. This is what they all look like on the back. Next we have some Polaroid type behind the scenes pictures of cast and crew. After that are quite a few pictures that we see actually included in the show, like in picture frames and just kind of in scenes in the show. And here are the final 2. Next we have these character cards. And then on the back are messages and signatures from the cast. Now these are not actual signatures, they are reprinted, but I will go through these one by one. So that was everything in the bag. So behind that is actually just this Hanbara Law Firm envelope. And yeah, again it just says Hanbara on the back. You can actually use this to put something that comes later in the box in. I haven't done that yet, but you totally could, and I think maybe that's why this is included. So now to get some of this out of the box, I'm going to have to start to use the ribbon that they've included to help me get the rest out. Next we have some posters. So this is the first poster. And here is the second poster. This first stack of papers is Woo Young-woo's resume. After that, the remaining papers are actually, if you've seen the show, you'll be familiar with this. This is Woo Young-woo's list of date ideas, and it even comes with these really nice post-it notes. Now these are just printed on, but I thought it was a cute added touch to include these. Page 2, page 3, page 4, and then finally we have page 5. This is the final page and goes up to number 50, which is how many her date list included. Next we have the interview book. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I do not read Korean, so I do, kind of like what I did earlier, I just take my phone and I scan the page, and it will translate it for me right on the page. And here's the back of the book. So I'm obviously not going to flip through every page, but just so you can get an idea of what the inside looks like, you're able to see the different questions and answers with different cast and crew members. Following that, we have what they call the special book. And again, here's the back on that one. Another thing I really like is they have the different whales and dolphins and such on the back. I think that's a nice little added detail. Now, what's really cool about this book is that it goes through so many of the documents and some of the images that you see throughout the show. It's really cool to get to see some of those more up close, because a lot of times you only see maybe a glimpse of it, or you even just hear it referenced, so it's kind of cool to get to see those more up close. And then last for the books, we have the photo book. Here's the back again. Here we have a whale and another message. As I'm sure you can imagine, this includes just so many behind-the-scenes pictures, different stills from the actual show itself. It's just a really cool thing to go through and look at. So now we're going to actually get into the physical media portion of this. So this is the Volume 1, Case 1 through 16. And so what they actually mean by that is this is the first out of 2 volumes of discs, and this will include episodes 1 through 16, which is the entire series. And here is the back, very similar to how the books were done. So when you first open the case, this is what you will see, is Woo Young-woo and a picture of the courtroom. So for this part I had to get a little creative about how I displayed it here, but this includes all of the episodes. As you can see, there are 8 total discs, so each of the cases or episodes get, there's 2 of them on each disc. And then last but not least, we have Volume 2, and these are actually all special features. So when you open this one up, just like the one before it, you get some nice photos here. As there are not quite as many discs in this one has 6. Over here we get some more, we get another picture on this side. And then we have all of the discs here with different special features. I love that all of these feature the different art from the actual episodes on Netflix. So there's everything included in the box set. Now all that's left is for us to actually take the discs and pop them in and take a closer look. Starting with disc 1. So here's disc 1, and we have, I already translated these, so this is the play all option, the scene selection, and then this is an interview. So I think the only one that'll take me to a different like sub menu would be this one, where we have our different scenes. So those are the scenes for episode 1, and then also for episode 2. On to disc 2, which includes the 3rd and 4th episode. And just like before, we have the play all option, the scene selection, and then part 2 of the interview that was on the first disc. And then disc 3, the 5th and 6th episodes. For disc 3, again, play all, scene selection, and then another interview, but this time it's with Park Eun-bin, who plays Extraordinary Attorney Woo right there, Woo Young-woo. And then we have disc 4 with episodes 7 and 8. Play all, scene selection. So this was the interview with Kang Tae-ho, who's right there on screen. And then this last one is actually the, I want to say it was the Happy Road simulation. I might have said that incorrectly, but I can edit that in here. Yeah, so if you've seen the show, then you know what that is. And then disc 5 with episodes 9 and 10. So again, we know play all, scene selection for both episodes, my dog sneezing in the background, and then lastly another interview. Disc 6 with episodes 11 and 12. As you can tell from disc to disc, these are pretty similar. We have the play all, the scene selection, and lastly another interview. And we have disc 7, which has episodes 13 and 14. So same for this disc, play all, scene selections, and then another interview. And then our last disc, at least for the episode portion, is disc 8, which has episodes 15 and 16. So we have play all, again, scene selection, and then another interview. I know I mentioned this before, but none of these are English subtitled. So that includes both the actual episodes as well as any special features. One of the things I really love about this set is just the attention to detail, and everything that was included I feel like was so purposeful. So now we have disc 9, and I forgot to translate. Let me do that real quick. So I just translated real quick, and I'll put the actual translation up, but these are both commentaries. So the menus for the special features are pretty simple. They're just a picture with some of the music in the background, and then the 2 different commentaries for this particular disc. On disc 10, we have another 2 commentaries. And then I guess either the disc didn't say this directly on it or I missed it, so we have a commentary, part 1 and 2 of a commentary, and then the last one there, the third one, is actually a script reading. And then we have disc 11. This one includes a lot, as you can see, and how it translates anyway for most of it is multiple angles for different episodes. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I don't know if that just means behind the scenes. I'm not for sure, and I think there's a couple other things as well, so I will put that up on screen in a minute here. Here's the menu for this one, and again I will put what each of these are separately. So this is disc 12, and it includes commentary as well as the behind the scenes for shooting for the posters, deleted scenes, and the teasers, as well as I think maybe like a making of behind the scenes as well. So again, just a ton of behind the scenes, and even though these are not English subtitled, like I mentioned earlier, I think a lot of these can actually be found on YouTube on the actual Netflix YouTube channel, or at least I've seen some behind the scenes. I don't know how many of them, but you probably can find them somewhere, and a lot of times the ones on the actual Netflix YouTube channel are subtitled. So if you're looking to see these, they're not available on Netflix, but a lot of times you can find them on YouTube. So at least with how Google translates these, it just says making 3, making 4, and then also for 5 and 6. I assume these are making of videos, so just more behind the scenes of how the episodes came to be. I know I mentioned being able to find a lot of these probably subtitled on YouTube, but I did also want to say I know that some of the behind the scenes end up being exclusive to these premium limited edition Blu-rays. So I don't know which of these special features fall into that category versus which are available elsewhere. So I just wanted to make a note about that. And then for our final disc, disc 14. Again, these are, I believe, making of videos, and these are 7, 8, 9, and 10. So here's that last menu. And I will be putting, at the very end of this video, an overview of everything again, just in case you missed something along the way or you just want to see it all together, everything that's included. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a super nice box set, and even though the price is quite high, I really think they put a lot of time and care into creating this for fans, and so I think that's really nice. I would love to see that happen even more. I mean, I think we're seeing it more in the physical media world, where companies are starting to take a little more pride in creating really nice editions. But I think it'd be really cool to see that happen, you know, a bit more frequently with a bit more regularity, so maybe just at a more affordable price.